it's Leela, the proud poly kinky queer slut. Today's question is, do you have any advice for people in mono-poly relationships? I am in a mono-poly relationship, which means my partner is monogamously inclined and I am polyamorously inclined. And yeah, I absolutely have some advice for you. Kidding, I talk so much. Um, First piece of advice is respect and communication are key. So, communication is a cornerstone to any healthy relationship. Having communication and dialogue is important. But that needs to be paired with a certain respect for the fact that your orientations are different, that your perspectives are different, and that especially if you're coming from a monogamous place, there is likely going to be harm that needs to be unraveled or changes that need to happen to adjust to your new normal. And that takes remembering and really respecting that you love this person and that this person is somebody that you care about and who you value and whose opinions you value, even in those moments when you disagree. And that really needs to be a two-way street that works both ways. Um, I highly recommend uh, study, learning. Books like Polly's Cure. The Multi-Amory podcast is amazing if you're into podcasts. They do a lot around various relationship types and a good job of making sure that their bias is not towards any one kind of relationship style. And that can be important because you need to make sure that both individuals do not feel shamed for their choices and that the monogamous individual who presume I'm presuming here a situation similar to mine where the relationship was monogamous and then opens up. The monogamous person is going to be feeling like their world is dropping out from under them a bit, and the last thing that they need is to then have all of their inclinations shamed by the research material. So making sure that you're looking at sources that are respecting the choice to be monogamous as a choice, as a legitimate choice. That's very important. Similarly, there are a lot of things out there about polyamory and about opening relationships that are very much bent on protecting the marriage. And I think that's counterproductive. Ultimately, I'm a relationship anarchist. I believe that a relationship should not continue to last if it doesn't serve both people in the relationship in the way that they want. And I do not think that the relationship should be served for its own sake. The relationship exists to serve the people in the relationship. And if at the point where it stops to do that, it should dissolve. I think that attitude was very helpful because that was the core foundation of our marriage was this commitment to each other. And for my spouse, there was more of a sense of like committing to a promise, and than for me. But still, in our relationship from the beginning, it was very much a reflection of what existed, not something that we were in just because we promised we would be. And creating a new path forward means revisiting those kind of commitments, revisiting those ideologies, and really critically thinking about what are your agreements, boundaries, and those things going forward. Um, I would also caution that while it is very important to go slowly and to make sure that both parties are on board with everything that's going on. Something that worked really well for me and my spouse was not going too slowly. Read the books, do the podcasts, like don't like just rush into this overnight, but at a certain state, get to the end state. Get to the place where you're able to express to each other what you actually want in your lifestyle. Because as my spouse put it to me at the time, it was like, just go to where you're gonna be so that I can adjust to that normal. And that's not the exact phrasing, but that was the sentiment. And I think that was very helpful because I was still very much afraid to be all that I am, afraid that it was too much, afraid that it was going to break everything. And frankly, I was going to get to there anyway, but it was drawing out because I was trying to be sensitive to their feelings. And being less sensitive and more selfish was really helpful. So it just allowed us to be more honest. So being proud, being willful, being blunt sometimes it all helps to contribute to the honesty, and honest communication is really the core of what makes this work. Finally, anyone dealing with a monopoly relationship, I think, could benefit from some couples counseling that is informed by non-traditional relationship styles. So certainly don't go see a church marriage counselor or somebody who has no experience with non-traditional relationship structures. But if you are building a relationship that is based on two people having very different concepts internally about what relationship structures make sense, it's a really good idea to have a set time and forum with a mediator to have the hard conversations. Um, and yeah, it's okay if your marriage fails. It's absolutely okay to have something not work out. Something my therapist, or our relationship therapist, said to us that I very much appreciated was that this is not something either of you is doing to the other person. This is a situation that the two of you find yourselves in together. Um, it is not the fault of either party that you're unhappy in the situation you came from. It is very much a situation that you find yourself in because of very reasonable factors, and everyone's been doing the best they can with the information they have all along the way. And starting from that premise, with the premise that there are no expectations for where we end up is going to be where we're supposed to end up, whatever that is, that takes a lot of the pressure off and allows that honest communication to flow a lot more easily. And I was told so many times, your relationship can never work. There is no way that this could work. People told me that to my face often. I can think of at least a half dozen times, just in the course of opening my relationship, not like all the trans opening things as well. People would just say, oh, wow, I can't believe you're still together. Wow, that I don't see any way you're going to be able to make that work. Those kind of things. And it's not just working, it's amazing. It's amazing. Happier than I ever thought I could have been. I think that we need more examples. We need more examples of people who are making these kinds of difficult relationship structures thrive for them, because it is possible. It is absolutely doable. And turns out living your honest life, whether it's married or not married, is fulfilling and gratifying. And there is absolutely no reason your marriage has to survive, but there's also absolutely no reason that it won't if it's what's still best for both people involved in the relationship. I hope that is helpful to some of you. And as you can see, I get choked up because I just, I really, really appreciate my marriage. It is the most beautiful and unexpected gift that I ever could have hoped for in my life, this love with my wife. And I really hope that through sharing our example, we can help some other people out there find a similar happiness, because it's all about fulfilling your individual needs and being happy, not being ashamed to just be happy. Thank you very much. I am Leela, the proud poly kinky queer slut. Remember, you can ask me anything, and have a great day.